With the rise of the bank-branded airport lounges from American Express, Chase, and Capital One, the airlines are taking notice. Even if they move a lot slower than we'd like, we're seeing the big three, American, Delta, and United, slowly step up their airport lounge game as well. So in this video, I'm gonna hone in on a very controversial card, and I'll show you how the American Airlines Citi Executive, which includes what most would consider as an extremely overrated airport lounge access benefit, can be worth it for you. By the way, I've held platinum status or higher with American for nearly a decade. I've held the Citi Executive card for a number of years now, and I have several videos on how to fast track your way to status by leveraging the American Airlines ecosystem and point stacking like a pro. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you check out my other videos and my all things American Airlines playlist if you get any value here today. And comment down below with your recent airport lounge experiences. Have you been to any of the nicer Admirals Clubs recently, or has a visit to an airline branded lounge saved you any time or money? Whether you're chasing status or not, having a credit card that can enhance your overall travel experience can be a total game changer, especially when you travel often for work, or you travel with your family and you have to lug around a bunch of bags and entertain wild and crazy children during a long layover. Now, personally, I fit into both of these scenarios, and honestly, every single year, I debate downgrading my Citi Executive card, but then I travel with my family, and we check 3 to 4 bags, and then we experience a flight delay or a cancellation, which recently happened to us, leading to a missed connection, and then we had to spend nearly 6 hours in the Charlotte airport. Regardless of how wonderful your children are, entertaining them for 6 hours in the main terminal of an airport like Charlotte is an absolute nightmare. Luckily, I still hold this card, which allowed the 4 of us to enter an American Airlines Admirals Club without having to pay any guest fees for any of my family to enter. Now, if you compare that to the American Express Centurion Lounge, which would have been $50 for my wife, $30 for each kid, so another $110, plus the representatives at this Admirals Club, well, they saved me at least a half hour versus trying to wait in the customer service line to get our flights rebooked, and they got us on standby in a matter of minutes, regularly updating us of any changes, and they actually got us out earlier than the flight that we were initially rebooked for. Now, all this while my kids had a nice comfy area in a relatively controlled environment with actually some decent food. Not much different than we would have gotten in a Centurion lounge. Now, experiences like this are one of the main reasons that I continue to hold on to this card, not the earning potential, which we'll get to shortly, not the card protections, and not for the credits that come with it. I could definitely live without those. But with all of these beautiful bank-branded airport lounges coming online and crowds that just keep getting thicker, and hey, maybe that's partially our fault here on YouTube for talking about these different credit cards and these airport lounges and how to get in, but it's getting harder and harder and more expensive to get in. It's $695 for the AMEX Platinum, and that annual fee will be going up in 2025. You can check out my recent video for my predictions and what the new AMEX Platinum will look like. But for me to pay that annual fee, plus another $110 for a single visit to take my wife and 2 kids into that Centurion Lounge, which really is no better than the Admirals Club in terms of food or anything else, and in a more inconvenient location, it's just not worth it. And look, I realize at some of these airports, the Centurion Lounge blows away your standard Admirals Club. Plus, when they roll out these new sidecar concepts and they step up the food and beverage game like they're promising, which is long overdue, maybe I'll rethink paying for guest passes. Or there's the Chase and Capital One lounges, which are incredibly beautiful and top-notch. You can check out my top US airport lounges of 2025 video, and you'll see exactly how I feel about these. But they're still really limited in locations. And if I'm flying out of Charlotte or Atlanta or out of Nashville, there's no Chase or Capital One lounge, and the Centurion Lounge locations can be a bit inconvenient. And this all weighs into my decision every year to keep or cancel the Citi Executive. Now, could I keep my family in the terminal for 6 hours and spend an hour of that either waiting in line at customer service or on the phone to get my American Airlines flights rebooked? Yeah, I could. But if you have kids, you definitely understand the value of a nice, somewhat contained environment with easy, complimentary access to snacks and coffee and drinks and bathrooms. So if you're someone who doesn't fly American Airlines often, or maybe you're just starting to dip your toes in the American Airlines ecosystem, this card might not yet be on your radar. But here's the thing. American Airlines is arguably the best US airline when it comes to availability of award flights and great point redemptions. And the earning potential fulfill through strategic channels like Simply Miles, e-shopping, and American Airlines hotels. Now, the biggest issue, you can't currently build out a full credit card trifecta or setup to earn American Airlines miles the way that you can with other programs like Chase Ultimate Rewards or AMEX Membership Rewards points, which you can transfer out to specific airlines or hotels. Well, not yet at least. We'll see if Citi rolls out anything new in terms of the transfer partner relationship with American. That said, I've covered this ecosystem in so much detail across several videos, and I'll link to my All Things American playlist in the description if you want to go deeper into that. But in a nutshell, here's what's changed. You don't need dozens of flights or crazy spending to hit status or to get status related perks anymore. With the right setup and by maximizing one key card, you can not only tap into status related perks right away, but you can also rack up loyalty points faster and easier than ever before. And that brings me to the Citi Executive World Elite Mastercard. Now, this was the first airline co-branded card with a monstrous annual fee, which somewhat recently climbed to $595 and was then basically matched by the co-branded cards from Delta and United. But it brings in a slew of credits and perks to try to justify that price, especially if you know how to use them. Now, I've said this many times before. If you're not someone who takes advantage of things like statement credits or airport lounges or doesn't travel that often, don't get this card or any premium travel card for that matter. You'll just be subsidizing the people who do. But if you do travel regularly, it's an entirely different story. Now, let's start with one of the most underrated perks in my opinion. Free check bags for you and your entire reservation. Now, many hate on airline cards, but if you fly just a few times a year and you don't have status with American, usually you're paying for baggage, and this benefit can save you hundreds of dollars. But the real point of value and the main hook with this card is the unlimited Admirals Club lounge access. This is where the Citi Executive truly earns its keep, and it definitely continues to do so for me. As I said earlier, if you've ever had a long layover, especially with kids, or if you're trying to get work done, you know how brutal it can be to sit at a crowded gate in a loud, congested area for hours. Now, this card gets you and your family or two guests on the same reservation into nearly 50 Admirals Club locations across the US. And there's a handful more on the way in 2025 and 2026. No $79 day passes, no guest fees. Just walk in, relax, recharge, and if needed, get help rebooking a flight from a lounge agent instead of waiting in the terminal line or on hold. Now, is it the most luxurious lounge setup? No. Most Admirals Clubs aren't at the level when you compare it to the Centurion lounges, some of the newer ones at least, and the Capital One and Chase Sapphire lounges. But for many flyers, especially for families or business travelers, it's still a huge upgrade from the terminal, and that alone makes this $595 annual fee a lot more palatable. It also currently has a welcome offer of 70,000 AA miles after spending $7K within the first 3 months. And these 70,000 miles can easily be worth $1,400 or more. And as an example, you can fly business class from a number of US airports over to Madrid or to Paris for 57,500 AA miles, and the cash fare for these flights often is $5,000 or more. So depending on how you value airline miles, and if you like being able to actually sleep on a long flight, being able to unlock international business class lay flat seats simply by getting a welcome offer, there's definitely a ton of value there for me, and it adds so much to my overall travel experience. But let's talk about the credits that sweeten this deal a bit further. So first up, a $120 Grubhub credit. Now this is $10 a month, use it or lose it. I always stack this credit with my Amex Gold dining credit. I just split my order up between the two cards, and I get this $20 in credits each month. Next, $120 from Lyft. Use 3 rides a month, get $10 back on the next one. Often you can stack this with Simply Miles and with Citi merchant offers for an easy 3-way stack. And $120 from Avis or Budget car rental. This is an annual credit, not monthly, thankfully. Next is a TSA pre-check or a global entry credit. Standard for any premium travel card, but still useful. And if you maximize these, you're getting $360 in statement credits, plus the lounge access benefit, free bags, priority check-in, priority boarding, and other travel-related perks. You also earn 2 10K loyalty point bonuses. These help you achieve the next level of status a bit quicker at the 50K and the 90K loyalty point marks. Now, these can help you fast track to platinum status, or even help you unlock Hyatt Discoverist or Avis President's Club as part of the AA Loyalty Point Rewards program. There's a ton of different milestones with specific perks that you can select from, and some of these Hyatt status benefits have been introduced here recently. And the earning structure is decent. With the Citi Executive, you earn 4 points per dollar on your American Airlines flights, and if you combine that with any level of status, you're earning potentially double that or more. Also, you earn 10 points per dollar on American hotels and car rentals, and this is booked within the American Airlines ecosystem. And you can earn AA miles on your Hyatt paid stays as well. And all this can help you get to elite status in no time. If you're looking to rack up AA miles, this is definitely the route to go. Now, let's be clear, this card is not for everyone, but if you travel monthly or more frequently, especially with family trips included in there, if you want easier paths to status, if you can actually use the credits and the lounge access and book through the American Airlines ecosystem, then this card just might be a sleeper hit in your wallet. And with the way the airport lounges are trending, crowded, expensive, often hard to get access without guest fees, the Citi Executive could quietly be one of the best family-friendly travel cards on the market. Now, if you want to see my All Things American playlist, check that out here. Or to see how to build out the best setup from Citi, which soon may be able to transfer out to American Airlines, check out that video here, and I'll see you there. Cheers.